Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to John and Dylan Online. And we're talking about a band that stole the heart of a fat 13-year-old named Dylan Gott, or 12, I think. And then people mocked them online, John. And we are going to name and shame everyone.
Smash Mouth is the rollerblades of bands. Everyone enjoyed it. Everyone had a wonderful time. And then it turned to the year 1999, and two guys with longer hair than we were expecting for someone that drives a truck went, whoa! I think that makes you possibly not someone who likes babes. And everyone was like, I love babes. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. And then they disappeared and became the greatest child's performers you ever saw. And then, like the true patriots that they are, gave their lives at Sturgis in 2020.
Hell yeah, buddy. And then Steve Harwell, really, if he had a better relationship with alcohol, could have been the new Jimmy Buffett. And I think it is pretty fitting that him and Jimmy Buffett died on like the same day.
Steve Harwell is the millennial Jimmy Buffett. He did not market himself. He just died, and everyone hated everything he did in life. And then as soon as he died, a bunch of people dressed and looking exactly like you and me just went, you fucking shed a tear for Steve. Fucking shed a tear.
Well, it is interesting to hear all these, like, he's on, like, there's a bunch of people remembering Steve Harwell on these Guitar Dork. I didn't know that when Smash Mouth were Steve Harwell, this is the funny thing about Smash Mouth. Smash Mouth is still going. The guy who wrote all of their songs is not in the band anymore, and the lead singer's dead. So it's kind of like Led Zeppelin's still around, Jimmy Page died, or Jimmy Page isn't there, and Robert Plant's dead.
Yeah, but you get John Paul Jones. He's playing the theremin.
I don't know if they have any original members.
I think they have the bass player. So, okay, can I just say this about fucking Smash Mouth? Or pardon me, about Steve from Smash Mouth. I live in Los Angeles. Everyone will tell you how cool that guy was. Like, every bar has a story where that guy walked in. This is how this guy died of alcoholism, by the way. Walked into the bar. I used to be a bartender. I'm bartending. I'm buying everybody around. And like, people were like, he would get it fucking going. He like was famous for showing up at the Comedy Store and being like, I'll sit at the back. Next round, anyone gets is on me. Like, he was just a fucking, like, he was just a party animal. He was a type of party animal that doesn't exist anymore because they die in their middle 40s.
He died at 56, which is 600 years old for how he treated his body.
Anyone, let me say this right now, anyone who's got a thin goatee like this, and it is not 1997, is going to die of liver failure.
Yeah, he's probably...
Whoa, I'm onto something here. Yeah, anyone with a I don't know anyone who had a goatee that didn't die of liver failure. That's crazy.
You don't know anyone with Steph Curry. You can say white guys with goatees.
Yet. No, I know a white guy with a goatee who died of liver failure.
No, that's why I'm saying white guys with goatees are the only people that die.
Good point.
Yeah, because every so often I'll watch a lot of basketball and be like, maybe I could put off a goatee. Me and Steph Curry look alike. He's light-skinned. I'm very light-skinned. And then I try, and I'm like, comic book guy again.
I think about that when I watch the NBA, because I just think, looking very old for your age works well for some people. And then I'm just like, not everybody, bud. Not everybody.
Yeah, these guys are millionaires.
Some of them just look like hot 50-year-olds when they're 19.
I think my idol still is Kevin Durant, who...
Of course.
Went on he's a millionaire, he goes on TV without moisturizing, and people are like, why don't you moisturize your legs? It's like, why don't you score 30 points a game in the NBA, you fuck piece of shit? And also there's like a bunch of videos of him at clubs where babes are trying to grind on him, and he's like,
yeah,
and then he's miming his own jumper, and I'm like, man, this guy is 50% from the field and he's still practicing. That's cool. This guy is... It's so funny. It's like you really should be... If your parents notice anything about, like, you have a certain amount of, like, ADHD where you focus in on one thing, they should just, like... If you hone in on the right thing, you're a millionaire.
Yeah.
Because Kevin Durant will also... We should do an episode on Kevin... Because Kevin Durant will also, like, someone will tweet at him, and, like, once a day, Kevin Durant was famous for, be like, I have $1 million, you're a pig fucker.
I mean, these are the two things
Why
I was
are
going to
you
bring up.
doing this?
Is I don't
Yeah.
even know what team he played for, but I do know that there's so many videos of him in nightclubs. Literally, there's one of him. I think he's explaining to someone if there was a basketball hoop, how he would get the ball in it in the club. And then his tweet replies are pretty spectacular. Also, didn't he reply to Shaq like, "You ain't no punk, you a punk. Meet me on the court." Like it's literally
Yeah,
like he's
pretty
calling.
much. Well,
He's calling
like-
people out to have a one-on-one competition. Yeah, let's see you do that on the paint, Jordan, you motherfucker. And you're like, oh, fuck yeah, Kevin Durant.
He is a multi-million-dollar. He's one of the greatest NBA players of all time. He dresses like an open micer, like a cool open micer, but he dresses like he's like, yeah, I got this notebook. I was writing on the subway. People just saw the words sex, shit, and piss, and now I'm being followed by police.
People don't understand that people that truly don't give a fuck never, ever, ever are wearing expensive clothes. If someone is wearing a jacket that had a price tag that would make you go, okay, they give a fuck. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like me, this is I clearly
exactly.
give a fuck.
You know who
This
gives
is
a shit?
$17,000 shirt.
That shirt is both Armani and Louis Vuitton. That's expensive. It is
And
backed
the
by
button,
one brand.
Not here. There's a button
What?
fell off.
Yeah, why would you? Yeah, you don't need that button though.
That's a button. That's the middle of the chest button.
Dylan, did you steal that shirt off of a man who was murdered by casino pit bosses?
This is my Smash Mouth shirt.
Fucking man, I want to smash your mouth with my coke.
That's good. So Smash Mouth, did you know Steve Harwell is a rapper?
I did know, yes, from a what was the rap group called?
It's FOB.
Freedom of Speech.
Whoa! Fuck, he was dude, he was ahead of his time.
And you know what financed Smash Mouth's launch? This is when I read this, I was like, Smash Mouth's the greatest American band of all time. No one competes better with them. What was the backing of the band Smash Mouth?
I'm gonna say Mafia.
The TV show Baywatch.
How was that?
The production and record company that Freedom of Speech, the hip-hop group fronted by Steve Hartwell, was signed to this production company that were the syndicators of Baywatch, so they had a fuckload of money because some guy with a coke problem figured out, all right, look, if you don't show tits, you can put it on at 4 in the afternoon, and if they're running, people will act like they're being tit fucked. So we're going to make a lot of fucking money,
Here's
man.
what I really like. By the way, those are the best 1996 one-hit wonder glasses I've ever seen.
They were, I'll tell you,
should be
no,
singing remember that shit? The singing towards the camera like this?
oh yeah.
Every music video like this with the fucking fisheye
Hey, I'm in the
thing?
band Len.
Ooh, I want to suck my sister's tits.
Yeah, you gotta give what you get. Whatever that song is called.
Suck
The New Radicals.
my dick
Don't
on this
let
bus right
go.
now.
I'm gonna fall off this cliff.
Have you heard the story
regret-
about the New Radicals?
It was two A&R guys just said we can make anyone famous, and then they did, and I feel really bad for the members of that band. We're like, oh my god, we're the new Beatles, and then a guy just was like, no, I just won $80 from Brad. Get the fuck out of my
Pretty good
office.
song though. I've listened to that song before. You know what
Yeah,
song I
but
don't
Dylan-
play? Gin Blossoms.
Yeah, but Dylan, you also recently on this program revealed you don't like ballads, so your musical taste is going into question because I think you have the musical taste of a dad who just fought with his daughter. You shut the fuck up and listen to Seeger. You listen to Seeger.
Seeger has too many ballads.
Do you remember when you explained to me once super drunk how good Bad Company is?
I mean, I'll do it now sober.
I mean, I don't think you'll do it with the amount of passion you did.
I will say this: if and I have 3 examples in mind right now. If a band has a song that's called the name of the band and it's off of an album that's also called the name of the band, that's a good song. Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, and Bad Company.
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% correct. The other point you made is, you want to know why I like Bad Company? All the songs start slow, so you think this is bad, and then they get good.
Yeah, exactly. They really lure you in.
Yeah, which is, if you start from the silence of the track, that's true of all music.
That's my favorite thing. I went to a Down concert, which was Phil Anselmo from Pantera's side project, and instead of an opener, they just played a live Bad Company. They just played a DVD from Bad Company, and everyone was like, "This is way better." Like,
I'm going to say this right now. Phil Anselmo has some terrible politics, but he knows how to put on a show for me. You know what I mean?
he's an Italian guy from. If I was like, "Hey, there's
Exactly.
an Italian guy from Louisiana," you'd be like, "Okay."
I mean,
all right, let me dig hard into this chair with my fingers.
Yeah, like-
I'm about to do fucking. What's that? What was that old ad?
no idea.
The ad.
All I know is this.
The ad in the '80s where it's the surround sound ad and the guy's being.
Oh,
blown
it's
back.
the HMV ad, like the famous CD, like, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
also,
that guy. That's
excuse
what
me,
I'm
Phil.
doing, but coming at me isn't sound; it's racism.
Yeah.
Ah.
Pardon me, Phil. Are you the firstborn of your family? Yeah. Oh, watch out, everybody. This man has a
firstborn
type
Italian son?
of confidence that's reserved for Komodo dragons.
Komodo dragon at Toronto Zoo recently passed away. R.I.P. Chimpy. I don't know if that was his name. Why did Steve from Smash Mouth quit rap?
He didn't feel like he was making enough money, and also Snoop Dogg and Gangsta Rap came out, and Steve's a booze bag, but he's smart enough to read the tea leaves, and he just went, well, I'm not going to be able to rap about how vodka's fun to drink, so let's start an alt-rock band. And his manager, / the guy who was syndicating Baywatch, I assume lifted his face from a desk where he was not snorting pills and went, I know a bass player and a guitar, baby, and you're going to smash my mouth.
That was the other thing. And the A&R guy for his label got kidnapped at the studio because he was there like San Jose rap, where it's like, rippity rap, I got a hat. A hat is a cat, and a cat's pretty cool.
My name is John, and that is fun, and I don't know how to do this well.
Yeah, exactly. And then it goes from that, and then in 2 years. Can you imagine, like, he just starts listening like, this LL Cool J really likes friendship, and then 2 years later it's like, oh, I have to talk about beating the police to death, but I'm from the suburbs. I have a Hawaiian shirt tattooed on my body. How am I doing this?
I really appreciate Run DMC's point about gangster rap, where they were like, yeah, the reason why we don't rap about that stuff is because we lived it every day and we were looking for an escape. If you're from the suburbs, maybe you think it's cool. And they were directly like, hey, Snoop Dogg, you're from Long Beach. I know that part's kind of scary, but it's not nearly as scary as what you're rapping about. One of us got shot in a drug deal. Who do you think are the more gangster people? Like, by the way, like, everyone's always like, Snoop Dogg, so dangerous. And it's like, pardon me?
Snoop Dogg's the new Sinatra or Dean Martin, where it's like,
You're
what
so
are you advertising?
fucking right.
Do you have $50? I saw when he was Snoop Lion, I saw him at a festival, and that's when he was like, I'm not doing any of the old shit. It's all about peace and love. I can't say that stuff about women anymore. And then clearly he did one show of just the Snoop Lion stuff, and they were like, they don't like that. And he's like, and then he was like, peace and love, Snoop Lion. Now girls, get your titties out. Let's get some fucking... It was like, he switched like that, and it was like, yeah he's not...
I mean, if you want to understand Snoop Dogg, there's interviews you can find with his manager, who is his wife that he's been with since high school, who calls him Calvin. And like, there was an interview. Remember when he was like, I'm a pimp now? And then they were like, we spoke to his manager about Snoop's alleged pimping. And she looks in the camera and goes, yeah, Calvin's a pimp. That's what he's doing. I'm just like, there, I was like, first of all, I can be friends with Snoop Dogg, no problem. Second of all, I understand what's going on, which is that man has a lot of money, and that woman was with him when she got that first check, and he was like, oh, fuck, I'm buying an ATV. And then she snatched it out of his hands and went, you're buying fuck all, motherfucker.
Yeah,
I'm investing this. Yeah, you are no longer making decisions. Go talk to someone about scissorp or whatever the fuck. And he was like, okay, baby. Like, she hired one guy to roll his joints, and then he just hangs out. Like, that's the situation.
That's great. Yeah, you go talk slow. Anyway, so what they come up with Walking on the Sun, which was apparently in the guitarist's, like, on a cassette tape of songs that he thought sucked. Pardon me.
That's a theme in Smash Mouth, by the way, with this guy who writes. This guy writes, and it's unequivocal
Greg Camp.
Bangers.
He writes one song. He says he comes down at 5 a.m. and writes a song a day immediately before his family gets up. And the two songs that he's written that have been the best ones unequivocally are one he thought was just like, that sucks. And then who got them on the radio?
Your boy Steve just had a friend who was a radio DJ in marketing at the radio station, and he just went to the radio station.
What friend?
I don't know who the friend was.
Carson Daly. They used to
Holy,
hung out
I didn't
with
connect
Carson
that.
Daly.
I knew that he was friends with Carson Daly. I didn't realize
So
Carson Daly was the radio
like,
guy.
"Oh, I'm just gonna start playing this song," and then Carson Daly, as he moved up, was like, let's get some mouth going on here. Let's mouth off a bit. Everyone loves mouth. Everyone loves smashing it. Everyone loves hearing the mouth. And then the unequivocal best song in human history was played. Everyone loves it. The rest of the songs, not as good, but whatever. Dice Clay only had that 5 minutes.
Yeah. The rest of the album sounds nothing like Walking in the Sun. It's the most returned album of the year.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the most returned album of the year.
I thought that was Sugar Ray, because Sugar Ray made a metal album and then they had Fly.
No, it was a similar problem, but no, Smash Mouth was the most returned. And also,
Blows my mind. It sounded way more like, I remember I had that album. I loved it.
I mean,
Because it was
I
just
didn't
like,
have
what
that
if
album.
Sublime was kind of worse?
I'll tell you what I had. Big Shiny Tunes 2. If you're a fucking elder millennial from Canada, that arrived at your house in the late 90s and you're like, well, this is what I listen to when I do whatever now.
Yeah. If you're 13 and for some reason have found this bald cast by Neckbeards, our Kendrick versus Drake was Smash Mouth versus Third Eye Blind, okay?
And there was only one winner, and that was all of us.
Yeah, because they didn't call each other pedophiles. They just talked about what it'd be like to walking on the sun. What was Walking on the Sun about?
I wish I led a semi-charmed kind of life. Wait a minute.
Whoa. What was Walking on the Sun about?
Getting real fucked up.
Rodney King.
Yeah, it's about the situation in Los Angeles, and it's so crazy when he says that, because you're like, have you heard your song?
Really just sounds like it's about getting so high that you think you're like, you know what I mean? I thought it was about like smoking the joint on sitting back and having a marguerite, but no, I guess it's about Rodney King.
Yeah, it's also like you can't have the start of the song be "Bowano nat nat, bowano nat nat," and be like, let's all have a pious remembrance for one of the true guiding lights in the civil rights movement of the United States, Rodney King, and we would dedicate that to him with our little hit, "Walking in the Sun." Like, oh, also, by the way, Dylan, at my funeral, I would like my casket lowered into the ground with the playing of Smash Mouth's "Walking on the Sun."
I feel like, here's the thing. Can I tell you something, John?
I hope so.
This is a secret. Is this recording? Because I hope it isn't.
Is this your treasure? Go ahead. Tell me more.
Show my PD. So I didn't like the album was good. Fuss You Mang was good. The ska thing, whatever. But I really was like, that second album came out, and I was like, it's going to be all like surf rock. This is going to be great. And then All Star was great, but the rest of it sucked a big bag of ass, and I didn't buy anything else. But like, then reading up on it, it was like, oh, everyone liked the second one best. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's insane. That is insane to me, where it was like, no, man, I want guys in shirts like this asking people to hold a very elaborate drink. Like, there should be, the amphitheater should be like, we have to get a bunch of flair bartenders, and every drink's $20, but everyone's like, absolutely. We have Manhattans over there. We have Cosmos over there. We got Marguerites over there. And there's just a bunch of fucking blow. You get to fight for the blow.
In that you're totally right. And then what's also weird about Smash Mouth is they're sort of not an album band. In that there's 3 songs that they did, and then I assume they all got fucking fat pools to get sucked off in. Like,
well, this is the thing they discovered about music, which is what we know about art, is that it is way more lucrative to license the thing than write really dense.
Yeah.
Like, only so many people get to be, what an artist. Look at this complete work. And the rest of us, me and you, have to be like, I heard AT&T has a luncheon. And that's what Smash Mouth does.
I mean, what's also very funny, and this is, of course, Lou Reed very famously got a bunch of shit for licensing Walk on the Wild Side a few times. And his point was the best, which is, who do you think is paying for the shit you like? What are you fucking like talking about? Like, it's also that thing of like when people and Smash Mouth was a huge guilty of this. This is the late '90s, which was still very much like sell out, sell out. And I always was like, I have a feeling these guys in bowling shirts probably have some bills, and like, yeah, they're gonna be in the Shrek movie. They want to make money. They've got drinking problems.
Well, here's what I don't. There's a difference between Lou Reed and Smash Mouth. There's a difference between the guy who helped.
What's the difference?
Well, first of all, yeah, try and fuck to Lou Reed. Tell you that.
I have, and it's bad. No rhythm.
Everyone just cries and goes,
yeah.
Like, I feel like we were both assaulted.
It also doesn't help that I always say to the lady, I'm like, hey, refer to my dong as the wild side, and you will be walking on it.
Oh, yeah, and you do the colored girls part a lot.
No.
You go like, can we rewind that 10 seconds again? I want to hear that colored girls part.
I mean, I even forgot about that one.
That was I didn't hear Lou Reed until in my 20s, and I was like, we're just ignoring that?
Yeah, man.
We're just going to, Slayer's dumb, but we're just going to say that was a different time.
Oh, listen, the one that always pisses me off the most is everyone's like, I love Bowie. And I'm like, I'm going to say this once. I'll say it 1,000 times. You know what Bowie loved? Having sex with fucking teenagers. And people are like, no. And it's like, yeah, look at all these interviews. Look at this interview titled, She's in High School. That's cool. Look at this interview. I like him young. Me, David Bowie. You know, and it's like, oh, he contributed so much to music. No, he ripped off everybody. David Bowie ripped off Stevie Ray Vaughan. Do you know how fucking weird you have to be like, I'm the king of glam. This man from Texas doing the blues deserves not to have the success that I want. Like, you're like, fuck off, David Bowie.
Well, it's Madonna.
David Blow Me.
There you go. But it's Madonna again, where you just take things that are, you know, what was it? The first resurgence of Madonna was pretty much, she was just like, yeah,
it's
you know,
Cyndi
all of a
Lauper.
sudden, no, I was going to say it's drag queens. She just took what drag queens were doing and then did that. And half of people are like, oh, it's good she's popularizing gay culture. And other people are like, she just took the thing we came up with.
Oh, yeah, pardon me. Her resurgence. The way she got famous was she was like Cyndi Lauper was burnt out. And then she was like, I'll dress like Cyndi Lauper. And the A&R man was like, fucking hell yeah. I'll be Cyndi Lauper, but I'll just do the songs about how you could definitely fuck me. And then they were like, this girl knows how to make it in the record industry.
Well, she made up a whole thing, and now she's not she's still alive, but she's not far off of old Steve.
I got to say this: the milk baths during COVID were a real fascinating turn.
Want to know what that is?
Oh,
that
Dylan.
became a trend in. I feel like I saw a couple milk bath videos on an algorithm on a pornography website like 5 years ago. And then I thought to myself, I hope I don't see that again. And I didn't. And I've been better for it since and now you mentioned it. Now I'm getting more, I don't like it.
You shouldn't like it. It was one of the oddest things to ever happen in COVID. It was so strange that it wasn't really adopted by mainstream culture. We were all inside, which is she would give... At one point, I believe, daily updates from her milk bath.
Sure.
And basically, she was operating with late 90s energy of like, I know how to pop a real view on the internet. I will imply I might get naked. And it's like, madam, this is the internet. Do you understand that there are photos of people fucking to your music? You're not even involved. They don't even know it's you. They're just having sex, and your song came on the Sirius radio that they, for some reason, are... I can see the unit in the background, because as we all know here on the program, I like that amateur porn. Go ahead, Dylan.
So anyway, after they get to the bottom of Rodney King, they get played, and they get picked up by Interscope Records. You must have heard the story about when they first submitted Astro Lounge to Jimmy Iovine.
Give me this. No, because I only watched YouTube videos that really focused on Steve and his various alcohol problems and fun partying stories.
Oh, good. Well, here's what happened. They fly Greg Camp there, who's the lead guitarist of Smash Mouth. They play the album, and Jimmy Iovine would turn the album down and go, "What the fuck is this?" And then turn it back up, and just was like staring at him. And that was it.
You have to remember,
it was literally like, "Fuck you! What the fuck are you fucking doing? This sucks." And then he basically, Greg Camp, it's so weird because he'll talk about how he thinks he doesn't like the sellout thing because obviously these guys started in the California ska punk scene.
Yeah.
So the sellout
no
is
money
thing to them.
Yeah.
But then he says All Star, he literally sat down and just listened to what people liked and then tried to write a song that appealed to what people liked very
What's the
robotically.
song? What's the specific song he used as his model? Do you know? I know. I looked this up.
Sure, go for it.
Are you ready? It's been 1 week since it was 1 week. He listened to
really?
1 week by the Bare Naked Ladies and was like, oh, I see what they're doing here is it's an incredibly, like, it's just a really incredibly catchy disco beat. The trick with it, all of these songs are, and Smash Mouth, I don't know if this is intentional, but it's something that Dave Grohl has pointed out about Nirvana is like, the reason why those songs are so satisfying is I stole disco drum beats, so they just stick in your head so fucking hard that it doesn't matter if you even like that type of music. And it's so true. If you think of Smells Like Teen Spirit, everyone thinks of like that fucking drum beat, and that's the exact same thing with fucking All Star and Walking on the Sun. Is you're just like, ooh. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Same thing with 1 week. It's been ooh. Ooh.
But 1 week is also another song where it's good, but then the rest of it sucks.
I mean, 1 week also has, and it's up there with that Red Hot Chili Pepper song.
Yeah. Chicken to China, the Chinese chicken. That one?
Yeah, it's like, we need to write a hit. Okay. But I want to make sure that also some people realize they're not the same as us.
Yeah, they're not doing shit about Rodney King.
Yeah, fuck that. They're going after Chinese people.
I do like that Greg Camp was like, he said that his favorite song growing up was just the Hawaii Five-0 theme song. And then through that, he found surf rock. And then in the grand tradition of surf rock, dealt with racism.
Yeah, that's right. Because as we all know, Dick Dale would have been on the March on Washington with Martin Luther King, but they wouldn't let him put his surfboard on the bus.
What? I can't hang loose on this million-man march? Why don't I surf on top? Get some
I'm
waves.
the king of surf rock. If I don't have my surfboard, how will they know it's me?
They killed Huey Newton dead. It was a FBI conspiracy. They killed Huey Newton. That was the original lyrics, and then they took those out. Hawaii
First of all,
Five-0.
I'm just going to clarify. It was not a mafia conspiracy. It was just a straight-up police conspiracy to kill
That's what
Huey
the
Newton.
FBI.
Oh, I heard mafia. I was like, mafia?
No.
Yeah, still, Huey Newton's my best thing ever. Shot 5 times in the shoulder. He was reaching for his gun. Shot in the shoulder a bunch of times. Yeah, with his feet. He was laying down. I mean, I shot him. What do you want me to fucking say?
Oh my God. Fucking J. Edgar Hoover showed up dressed as his own mom and fucked the corpse. What do you want him to say?
Yeah, let's just...
Anyway.
I don't like him and he's dead. What's with all the fucking questions?
Okay, official statement. We are racist and we murdered a guy because we don't like the way he is.
Yeah. Who's
so
named Huey?
Astro
He's not a
Lounge
duck.
comes
Go ahead. Sorry?
Astro Lounge comes out.
Holy fuck.
All Star is a song that's basically about, like, which is so funny hearing them talk about how they came up with it, where it was like they got all this fan mail from
this is so
essentially
insane.
me.
Yeah,
Like
from
people
Dylan.
who didn't have, who were just losers. Like, here's the thing is, like, every high school movie is written about the 4 group of friends who are just straight up losers. And
Yeah,
I was
because
like,
that's who writes movies, by the way. No
Yeah.
jock. No one wins regionals, and then it's like, this needs to be immortalized into a screenplay.
I mean, some of them do.
No, they're too busy throwing custard at the nerd. Take that, nerd.
The most successful comedians now backdoored into it because they're former NFL players. Oh, how'd you get started in comedy? Well, I won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Dylan, you're incorrect. One of them is retired. One of them is still an active NFL football player.
Exactly. So, okay. What was I dicking out of my pussy? Oh, yes. Straight up nerds. They're not emo guys. They're not punk. They're not metal. They're just people wearing cargo pants with some weird button up. They're basically 12-year-olds who are dressed like their own parents somehow.
I'm going to say
They're
this.
just
Yeah,
like,
we're saying
whatever.
if they're one of the weirdo kids in high school, they're wearing an unnecessary fucking accessory like a fedora every day.
I even think that's too stylish. Just like
No.
like a lot of remember Rip Zone?
Of course.
Yeah.
Do you remember No
like a Rip
Fear?
Zone. Yeah, I own a No Fear shirt.
Oh, fuck. I want to know if your shirt's so bad. They still
you can't
available for
have
sale?
No, I got one because the comedy club was like, listen, I don't have that much money. You can take all the shirts. I was like, all right. I
Is that
sold
true?
them. I made some money.
Please tell me that's true.
It is.
Which comedy
I was
club?
like, my wife's in Vintage. Why not? Which comedy club? I'm going to call it Just for Laughs.
Wink, wink, wink.
So, very important. They write a song for me. I fucking hated it. No, it was a good song, but then they were in the Can't Hardly Wait soundtrack, combining my two favorite things, Jennifer Love Hewitt and Smash Mouth.
Ladies and gentlemen, Can't Hardly Wait, one of the finest teen movies of the 90s.
Great.
It's also aged pretty good. Overall, aged pretty good.
Have you seen it recently?
Yes, I watched it in COVID with my now ex-wife.
Did she like the part where there's the long thing and then the guy goes gay?
I don't remember that part, but I assume it happened.
That's the craziest part of the movie.
I mean,
I don't know if they say gay or fag.
I'm going to say this, but for a 90s teen comedy, that there's only one of those moments. If you watch the movie Idle Hands, 45 minutes of it is just a lecture about how white supremacy is the way forward.
Yeah, the idle hands are Hitler's hands, and they're great hands.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have watched Step Brothers recently, but the middle half of it is just a hard pitch to send Adam McKay money. Go to your parents' room, open the wallet, memorize that number, write that number down with the expiration date on a piece of paper, mail that to me.
But it is interesting that Smash Mouth has the one hit, and then basically they have two albums that are formed like one hit. Like they just try and desperately make another big hit with their second album. They do, but the formula is very clear. It's like they have the first two albums, they have standout hits, and then they have covers. Yep. Towards the end of the album, it's just like bulk covers. And those covers get in movies. They're licensing stuff. I remember a interview with Steve. This is why the selling out shit was so weird to me. Because the reason why I liked Smash Mouth so much as a kid were two things I saw on television. The first one was an interview where they were like, do you worry about selling out? This is after their first album. And then Steve was like, I'm a fat 30-year-old guy. And everyone on TV's like a attractive 19-year-old. That's my option.
I love this guy. I fucking love him.
What are you fucking talking about? Worried about selling out? Yeah. Anyone who wants to pay me money so I don't have to work at General Motors, give me the money. Like, I don't give a shit. And then the second thing was he was on Disney Channel and Hilary Duff came on, and it was like, then he just like as I'm flipping channels, Hilary Duff goes, "It's Smash Mouth," and he goes like, "Everybody," and like the clearly thing where it's like. I had a couple too many last night. Where you're like, someone calls you and you're like trying to pretend didn't just wake up, but you clearly just did. Like
Yeah.
A cigarette may well have fallen out of his mouth while he was like, "Oh fuck, I think I just pulled my back." This is Smash Mouth,
ladies and gentlemen.
Get on the cum, son. Damn it. Rewind. Yeah. It's live. Oh, fuck me again. Why don't you? Like, it was dope. And I was like, that is
coming
what I like.
Coming at you live from the Epcot Center at Smash Mouth. Yeah, I'm fucking smoking a cig. Wait, what? I mean, and a 1 and a 2 and you're an all-star.
It is like a joke I have, but I really would have enjoyed, like, The Voice always has the, like, most professional celebrities on it. Like, they brought back the guy from Maroon 5's career, and he's on The Voice, and it would have been way better if it was just like, you're singing your ass off, the chair turns around, it's the guy from Smash Mouth. You got a lighter? No. Yeah. Chair turns back around. I gotta fucking get a lighter now?
Hang on. You're not approved.
Someone turn on the stove backstage. I'll light the joint off the fucking stove.
Hey, I got a question for you. What song is that? You're not on my team. I just want to know what song that is. It's Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. Fuck.
Yeah.
I thought Led Zeppelin. Okay, we're trying it again.
Yeah. Chair turns around. Do you like my set? Oh, I knew you'd have nice tits. And then just chair back around. I knew it. He's like talking to one of the other.
I don't think
I said she'd have nice tits backstage. You fucking got no idea.
I think it also could be a nonsense. Hey, settle a bet. Fuck, marry, kill. The other 3 judges, I'm not involved. Go.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
Let me put it this way. I feel like Steve from Smash Mouth, if he was alive and we could get close to him, would be the third mic on this podcast. And like, no problem. We'd just be like, hey, Steve, we talk about crap, but mostly we just talk about cum. And he'd be like, bros, you had me at cum?
well, they came before, like, you could, like, really sink your teeth into who Smash Mouth was in a way now if he would have been, like, if they would have been better at social media, but they just weren't.
Well, social media wasn't a thing, but you're totally, like, here's the
No,
thing
but, like,
with...
as they're falling off,
Yeah.
they kind of have the opportunity to be, like, the wheels start to fall off. Their next two albums after Astro Lounge don't sell well at all. They're, like, desperately trying to... And that's what it becomes.
But hang on,
Yeah.
hang on, you sweet son of a bitch, you sweet, beautiful fuck, you fucking gorgeous man. You're not taking into account the Shrek 2 of it all, which is, yes, they are struggling to sell records, but they basically got Facebook stock the day, like they got Facebook stock options because fuck me was their version of now I'm a believer everywhere because of the Shrek franchise. Like that became
and
the
also,
theme of
All
that
Star
show.
was like the first thing you heard.
Oh
the
my
movie.
God. Like for years, All Star was everywhere. It was in the movie with all those weird superheroes starring Ben Stiller. That was bizarre.
And also, what's the other part about Smash Mouth? Steve Harwell kind of looks like Shrek.
Oh, I didn't even consider that. Yeah, he does kind of look like Shrek. Fuck yeah. I
It's
guarantee
a
I'm
fat guy
marking
band. The hero in the movie's a fat guy. It's for fat guys by fat guys.
Oh my God, it really is. It's great.
Fat guy surf rock is something that needs to happen, but not like. Remember that band Bowling for Soup where they were like, check it out, we're fat. It's like, nah, I'm not proud of my body. I just like chips too much to change it.
Yeah,
It
just
would be also
like,
be dope if Steve Harwell had a cooking show or like
Oh.
a Playboy Mansion type thing, but it's in a backyard, and it's like you're interviewing the guy, and then he asks a question, and then like the celebrity's talking, but he's like, "Get the you fucking sizzle. I don't care about your influences right now," and then just stops the interview. He's like, "See that? Those are fucking ribs."
what's the likelihood Guy Fieri and Steve from Smash Mouth were friends? I'm assuming
They were friends.
If they were, well, I was gonna say they're either friends or they were bitter enemies. I don't like that guy. I don't like him at all. You want to know why? He chars the shrimp. I like it barbecued. Isn't that sort of the same, Steve? Yeah, maybe for you.
Guy Fieri is like, it felt like the good angel on his shoulder, where it's like, hey man, you can just wear the shirt. You don't have to be drunk at noon.
I mean, you don't follow Guy Fieri on social media, and I think Guy Fieri is a lot closer to Steve from Smash Mouth than you're really prepared. That guy pretty much always has what looks to be a White Claw just out of frame of the photo. Like he just handed it to someone and then is taking a photo with his kid.
And he just lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah, I think he did that weird Dana White. No, I'm not on steroids thing. The new gray. I love that we just have gotten so naked with dieting, where it's like, it's keto. Maybe you just want to eat steak, and now people are like, find a doctor that will give you testosterone. Testosterone. What the fuck is it called?
Testosterone.
Testosterone.
You're such a beta, you can't even pronounce
That's right.
it.
Don't even know what it is. And then you just get cut. And it's just, I'm like, I like the nakedness of that, where they're like, you want to be fucking hot in your 50s? Steroids. You're like, all right.
Oh, that's what my cousin says all the time. He's like, every time I've lost a bunch of weight and told you I was dieting, I just did some, what the fuck? It's some weird weight-cutting drug and then ate Wendy's. I just didn't eat it around you guys, so you guys wouldn't know.
I really
He was
respect
like 40 pounds in 2 months.
Yeah, what are you talking about? You're out of your fucking
It's
mind.
the best. Anyway, they don't like being the Shrek band. Once again, it's like, I don't know. You just kind of be who you like. You now are millionaires. It's kind of like weird to be like, oh, I have this palatial estate, but I don't like how I got it. It's like,
Yeah. My pool's an infinity pool, but the view is northeasterly, and I was hoping for northwesterly.
and then when he starts falling off the rails, like it's like very much they join social media like we do, which makes me feel old, but it's like they use Twitter too much, where it's like you could just use one of the other ones and be like, we're Smash Mouth, we're releasing a song on YouTube or something. But they only release Twitter, and Steve Harwell doesn't have his own personal Twitter. All the other guys are too old to understand Twitter. So Steve Harwell just going into business for himself a lot, where he'll At one point, the Oakland A's have a bad season, and he's from San Jose and likes the Oakland A's. So he just gets drunk, clearly, and just starts being like, what are you guys fucking trading Coco Chris for? Why don't you go suck all my dick? And the Oakland A's are like, what? Like the official Oakland A's account is like, Smash Mouth doesn't like us? And then he basically wakes up and goes, oof, my bad. And that's it. It's like
I gotta say this.
They say it's a Twitter feud, but it's like, no, he got drunk. Like, I've been that drunk before where I like tweeted at a celebrity where I was like, you want to fight? We could probably you can beat the shit out of me, make some money. And then I wake up, delete tweet.
You also don't understand how often I assume that's been happening in the last decade to the Oakland A's Twitter account. Like, if you have anyone in your feed that has any sort of love in their heart for the Oakland A's, they've all gotten drunk in the last decade and been like, how about you suck my, hey, Billy Beans or whatever the fuck your name is, how about you moneyball my asshole? Fuck you, trade the fucking team, fuck. And then like under the chain, had a couple too many last night, love you, love the game, love you.
I love the game, just love being a part of the team.
Just feel part of it, you know what I mean? I'm part of the action, but I am going to have 8 natty ices, and then the other side of me is coming out. Go ahead.
Well, people latch on to Smash Mouth with meme culture in the 2010s, and the first part of this is the guy who owns the Twitter handle @fart just gets drunk and tweets, "It'd be really cool if Smash Mouth ate 2 dozen eggs," and then so many people tweet it, and Smash Mouth tries to ignore it for a long time, but Steve ends up eating 2 dozen eggs for charity, and they raise 10,000. Like, he's like, I'll eat it if you, because if you want to get really real, he has a long-standing charity because his son dies of leukemia at 6 months. Sad, yes, but the internet is brave enough to ignore that because he's like, if you give $10,000 to my charity, then I'll do it, and they do it in like a day, and then he's like, fuck, and then in the best internet thing of all time, he uses his good friend Guy Fieri to prepare the eggs.
Fuck
so
yeah.
It's not like, there's not going to be 2 dozen gross eggs. And then Guy Fieri just gets on the mic and is like, this is a fucking another day being friends with Steve from Smash Mouth. And then he's like,
if you
can't finish 2 dozen eggs, though, because that's crazy.
I mean, we could do it, no problem. I'm going to say this. If you could have fucking knocked me over with a feather that I didn't realize the Omni poster fart was going to be connected to Smash Mouth, and I really enjoy that.
And then
what's next? Are you going to tell me that Deez delivered his eulogy? That's a very inside joke. And I'm not explaining it.
They go into a feud with Third Eye Blind, where he basically just shits on Third Eye Blind because they get one of the members of Third Eye Blind that what's the fucking guy's name? I forget what the dude's name is but the lead singer of Third Eye Blind fucks them over of like a bunch of royalties and shit. The guy ends up suing the band and gets $500,000 from the band. But still, he's in Smash Mouth now. And then occasionally, Steve from Smash Mouth will get drunk at concerts. But like, Third Eye Blind can suck my dick. And that's a lot when your kid shows up with a Shrek doll to hear the Shrek song.
I'm going to say this right now.
The Teletubbies was like, yeah, fucking Pink Ranger's a queer.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to learn about friendship?
I want to just say this. You don't need to look that far. Look at what happened to the green Power Ranger was literally just like, I can kickbox anyone and I fuck everybody. And like, it's just like every celebrity that was involved, every kid celebrity from the 90s turned out to be history's greatest monster. Sharon, Lois, and Bram, dead. They're now skeletons. How scary is that for those kids?
Sharon, Lois, and Bram, you know what they did? They got kids from Michael Jackson. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Skinny marinky dinky dink, skinny
there you
marinky
go.
doo.
Sing the song, John.
You are property of Michael Jackson.
There you go. Your parents are losing custody of you.
Yeah.
Anyway, last guy with the soul patch goatee combo.
Until the end of this episode when Dylan's shaving his beard down to the soul pea.
Oh, yeah, and then I gel it. And then I gel the 4 hairs I have left and go become who I am.
Here's my question. If you shaved it down to a soul patch, I assume on principle your wife will somehow come to Los Angeles and attack me. I know you had something to do with this, John, you and your little skits.
Oh, yeah, I'll get my dick sucked so hard.
Yeah, it's weird. She would suck your dick, but then attack me for it. She's like, I'm so attracted to him now, I'm angry at John, is what would happen.
I don't want to do that. Anyway, he is the official... Like, he looks like a barbecue, and goddamn it, I just wish that they would have had a signature style that they could have kept on making. At one point, they were going to make an acoustic version of their first album for some reason.
Well, I'm glad to hear someone's reading my letters.
And then they released another one that was an album called Summertime that was supposed to be a return to their first album because...
Did you buy Summertime? Did you listen to Summertime? Were you excited for Summertime?
It's not on any streaming platforms.
That's the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life. What are you talking
almost
about?
Impossible to listen to.
What is he, a comedian from Canada just trying to get the Sound Exchange royalties?
I have no idea. I truly have no idea. All of the decisions that are made here would probably be properly explained by the guitarist was in control of the band, but to the public, the guy who was a Skid Row alcoholic. Like, all of the things that happened to this guy basically are like, he retires from music after... And it would be super funny, him getting drunk and shit, if it wasn't like he literally killed himself within the span of 3 years. Like, he was in a hospice and died of liver failure.
Yeah, it didn't end in the way that, like... Because people are always like, oh, then they got sober and they turned their life around. It's like, what's sad is sometimes you don't know about the other side of that, where they were like, I choose booze. And you're like, wait, what?
Dude, yeah, and I've seen that before, and it's fucked up. Where it's like, you can either drink or you can die. And
why are you still talking? You said drink. Yeah, I'll drink.
Yeah. While you were saying that, I got an Uber because you said drink.
Yeah, I got an Uber, and that guy's bringing me booze because I don't know what Uber is. I just have a guy on my phone who brings me booze.
Yeah, I got an Uber for, what do you call it? I got an Uber where they carry things. Anyway, whatever.
I will also, can I just say this? I respect someone more who just goes, I'm just going to drink, more than what I've had in my life, which is like, I'm totally sober. And I'm like, well, that's interesting, because I guess you don't realize that I'm in stand-up comedy, so I know what drugged up people look like. You know what I mean? I always get so insulted when people are like, I'm not drunk. And it's like, motherfucker, I've been a comedian for 18 years. I can sense it like a Jedi, motherfucker. I can get it down to the strain. That's been stepped on, not with baby laxative. Unfortunately, you got the even worse case where they just ground up some Tylenol, so you're going to have the weirdest headache in about an hour.
Speak a bit about Sturgis, then we got to get out of here and record another ep.
All right, we got to move quick. They capped off their career like the true kings of all. They made sure that their freedom was not disturbed, and they ruined what I assume was a bunch of bikers' nice weekend, because the only band they could get to play Sturgis during COVID was Smash Mouth, and they created a massive super spreader event. And what I love so much about this story is there is no way any of those bikers enjoyed the show. They all got COVID, standing there going, what the fuck is that noise? As soon as they saw a keyboard, I guarantee...
500,000 people at Sturgis?
It's so crazy. Isn't that nuts?
Eric Bischoff was one of them. The only thing I know about Sturgis is Hog Wild WCW pay-per-view.
So Sturgis is just a giant biker rally in this town that I assume was featured in Deadwood. During COVID, 500,000 people went there. They all got COVID, and a good portion died. Like, it was just like, I don't know if a good portion died. I assume that they did. Because here's what
you lefty would want to.
I mean, I did go to Sturgis. I was there. I couldn't taste anything, and I said, you know who I need to share this? This is the perfect situation to go to a music festival. I can't taste anything, so I won't mind eating all those disgusting mushrooms. I didn't realize that since I had just come back from Wuhan, I should probably just, stay home for a couple of days.
I can't taste anything. Give me my bowl of cum. Finally.
Yeah.
Yum, 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 yum,
drink
yum.
it. Although I won't like it because I won't have that fun, salty aftertaste. Yeah, they played Sturgis. A bunch of people died. And then people were like, oh, that's bad. But this was also in 2020. So it was like people were just fucking shocked that people were doing it. Like, no one was like, these motherfuckers. People are like, the fuck you doing, man?
You're like, what the fuck? Anyway, that's it. Goodbye. Next week is an episode. I don't know which one. Maybe Vine.
It might be Vine. We don't really know.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
We love you. Rate, review, subscribe. Watch us piss.
Fuck.